Lady, you're starting to scare us. I wonder if Joe Lauzon knows the reference. Do you know the reference, Joe?
Adam Sandler song, right?
Close.
No, I don't know though. That's the only Sloppy Joe song I know.
Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe's. That's the song. That's Billy Madison.
Yeah. Oh,
what I quoted was Billy Madison.
Okay.
You never seen Billy Madison?
I have, but not in a long fucking time.
It's the best. I watch it every weekend. My favorite.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Thanks for doing this, Joe. We just spoke on Wednesday, different circumstances. Really sorry that everything went down the way it did. Can I ask you, when did you find out, not that it was off, and maybe it's in the exact same phone call, but that it was in question?
So I didn't know anything until 3 p.m. Arizona time.
So
I was actually
wow.
Yeah, so I was sleeping. So I usually don't take a nap, but like all week long, I was trying to like stay up later and trying to wake up, but I kept waking up I'm used to waking up at 5 a.m. with my kids.
Yeah.
Which is like 2 a.m. in Vegas, in Arizona. So it's like I was trying to sleep a little bit later, but every day I'm waking up at like 6 o'clock or so, which is sleeping in for me, but not that much. And so I took a nap and I had a missed call. I woke up and I had a missed call from Sean Shelby. But I woke up to my boxing coach, Steve Mays, like, you were right. So because I'm like, don't tell me I was right. What was I right about? Don't tell me. Because for 2 days I kept saying like, I had like this gut feeling. I'm like, the fight's not going to happen.
What?
I have this, I've never felt like this before, ever. I was talking to Craig Bassari at weigh-ins, and I'm like, I was telling Steve Mays, I'm like, I feel like it's the stupidest thing. I know Cowboy would show up with a broken leg and fight with a broken leg, but I get this weird gut feeling that the fight is not going to happen. And I just kept like, I was talking to Bassari about it. I was talking to Steve Mays about it. So when I wake up to Steve Mays being like, you're right. I'm like, don't tell me I'm right. Don't tell me I'm right. He's like, fights off, Cowboy's sick.
Oh.
Ruins it.
Wow.
The whole thing was for nothing. Yeah.
But what about, like, is just a feeling? Like, what about the week made you feel like this wasn't going to happen? Again, to your point, I can't even imagine how bad this food poisoning was for Cowboy not to show up. The guy would show up with no legs.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he looked, I don't know. Even like going back like 2 weeks before, I had like this feeling that it wasn't going to happen. But I was more worried about like COVID stuff. I just I didn't fight for 2 years because I was so worried about COVID stuff happening. You know, like it's like I catch COVID or a corner catches COVID. It's like we're traveling, we're flying. You know, it's just like we're in like the worst environment for it. And I don't think COVID is like the biggest deal for most people. I think that we would be fine, but for it to, you know, I could see it scrapping a fight, you know, being a little sick and whatever. And but then we get out there and I didn't see Cowboy. I got there on Tuesday. I didn't see him on Tuesday, but I saw him Wednesday morning, like, you know, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., something like that. And he looked rough. Like he just looked like he looked like kind of like a raisin. Like just like did not. I could tell he was already kind of miserable. Like he was already dehydrating a little bit. It was already like, I'm sure he was on limited food, stuff like that. You could see it right away. I was like, the feeling just got worse. Like, like I think, you know, and then we were kind of joking, like, oh, hopefully he misses weight. You know, we'll take a piece of his purse and da, 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 you know what I mean? Like, and then he made weight and like, okay, we're good. But I still had this feeling. And then fight doesn't happen. It's like the biggest kick in the nuts my entire life.
Has that ever happened to you this close?
Never. You know, and I did not think Cowboy would be the guy to pull out either. Like it's like, you know, because he steps in on short notice. He would step in on 24 hours notice, you know, whatever. It's just like, did not expect it to happen the way it did.
So you get that phone call. What do you do?
I try to do my best not to cry. Of course, I did cry a little bit. Like I'm so upset because there's all this effort that's been put into this. You know, like we knew about this fight like the first week in like February. You know what I mean? So we've been training so hard for so long, all of February, all of March, all of April. You know what I mean? Like it's like a 3-month camp. We really picked up all the stuff like conditioning and stuff before that even happened, just because you're just getting geared up, just, you know, knowing we wanted to fight soon. There's so much, like I blew off a family vacation, supposed to take my wife on a vacation that we scheduled 2 years ago, but before the pandemic started, right? Wow. Right. We were supposed to leave in April 2020. Couldn't go because of COVID. Put it off all this time, put it off 2 years. I eventually, I booked the vacation because, okay, I think it's safe. I think I'm not going to fight the next couple months. 3 days later, we get a call. Oh, this is when we want you to fight. I'm like, now it was like just enough time away. Like I probably could have gone on vacation, but it wouldn't have been an enjoyable vacation because I would have been thinking about the fight.
Right.
So like we canceled vacation. I'm like, I promise we'll go right after this fight. And then it gets moved from April 30th to May 7th. Like, all right, well, we didn't book anything yet. So, but now it's like, what do we do now? Are we gonna fight in 2 weeks? Are we gonna fight in 6 weeks? Are we gonna fight in 4 months? Like, is the fight gonna happen at all? It's just like, there's so many like things thrown up in the air. You know what I mean? I try to do everything. Like, I try to control what I can control, right? I couldn't control that Cowboy got sick, but I can control that like my weight cut was good. I can control I was in shape. I control I was, try to be as healthy as possible. Like, we control certain things and we focus on controlling those things to the best of my ability. But it's a lot of like, there's so much stress that kind of goes into all this stuff of trying to like manage everything, and like, I've been like pretty absent from my gym for the last like 3 months. You know what I mean? Like, I've been there, I've been teaching some classes, I've been training, but I have not really been there like I would like to be. So like, I've neglected my business for the last 3 months. It's just like, there's so much stuff that's kind of gone into this. And now it's just like, it's all like, just like boof. It's just gone. You know what I mean? And like, I talked to Sean Shelby and he's like, oh, Cowboy's sick. I'm really, really sorry. I know how much this sucks. He's like, we're going to try and schedule it again in 6 weeks. We'll get you rebooked. And I'm like, that doesn't really help me that much. Like, it's like, it doesn't like, it's easy to say that. Like, and I understand like from Sean Shelby's perspective, like he has to shift all these fights. He loses fights. He has to shift them. He has to, make adjustments. I totally understand that. But it's like, it's such like a big, like my entire life is revolved around this. I know like some people are not like as focused as others. I am like, I could not be more focused. Like everything in my entire life revolved around this. And then it just gone. It's just not happening now.
Man,
it sucks.
Did you even go to the fight?
I went to the fight. They did pretty much drag me kicking and screaming though.
Oh.
Like I didn't want to go because like the entire time like we're going, it's just like I should be in there. Yeah. I should be warming up right now. I should be like we're watching like the first fight of the main card walking out. Like this should be me. This should be me getting greased. This should be, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it just like they showed there's a clip of me. I think I was sitting between Gilbert Burns and Kamaru, and like I was beside Gilbert, and I think it was right after the knockout, the Michael Chandler knockout on Tony Ferguson, and I'm like squinting. It's like you can just tell I'm miserable, and I didn't even like I was watching the fights, but I wasn't really watching the fights. I'm just kind of like sitting there being miserable, and like I'm trying to see what even happened, and just like I don't know, just not the best night.
You would rather just go home.
I honestly, when they first told me about it, I started like looking up flights about trying to just fly home like ASAP.
Right.
Like I can just get home, see my kids in the morning. Like we go home like we landed like 8 p.m. last night, East Coast time. Mm-hmm. So like I didn't get to see my kids until this morning. And but I was like, if I fly home Saturday afternoon, I can be home Sunday morning. I can just like I was just so miserable. It sucks.
Could I ask? You get paid?
So I think so I talked to them and they're like, at first it's like kind of like, oh, we're going to talk on Monday. We're going to figure it out. And then, but I talked to Sean Shelby for a while. I just kind of kept hammering home like how much this sucked. And I think that they're going to give me my show money and I'll get the Venom money. So I'll get like, I think my show money is 74. So I'll get 74 and I'll get 21.
Okay.
So I mean, I'll make, but honestly, it's like, I didn't even get the chance. I could have not trained and shown up and got kicked in the face and made $95,000. It wasn't about that. It was about like, I want to get that win money. I want to get that bonus money. It could have easily been a $250,000, $230,000 weekend. Like, very, very easily, especially the fights weren't great on the card. We could have easily had a fight of the night. You know what I mean? Like we could have easily had performance bonuses. Like there's so many ways it could have been $300,000 weekend like that. And now it's like, to go get like, it's great to go and get, like I'm super thankful for the UFC. Like, like they could have told me, hey, no, we're going to rebook it in, 6 weeks. And, we're going to give you 10 grand for now and whatever, you know what I mean? Like it's, so I'm super happy. I'm super grateful they're giving me my show money, but it's just kind of it's still a bummer.
Not to be a stickler, but can I just make the case that you deserved all the money because that money was allotted to go to someone. So they don't have to, you know what I mean? I think that's still possibly in the air. Like nothing is set in stone. They haven't wired anything to me yet. I'm still going to talk to them. I know they were meeting today, so I will talk to them after. I'm definitely going to make a case that like Cowboy's money. I don't know what's going on, but Cowboy did not make weight. I hope he gets something. But he's the reason that the fight didn't happen. So like, don't give him the full amount, but give me my win money. Yeah. One of you was going to get that, right? Like the fight, like no one returned their tickets because it was too late. The card was about to start. It's not like they lost any money off this fight falling through.
So I'm still hopeful that's going to happen. That I'm still going to get my win money. But I don't know that for sure. I'm going to I'm going to reach out to them today and try and, figure out what's going on. But I want to give them a chance. It's weird because East Coast, we're 3 hours ahead.
Yeah.
It's like 11 a.m. there. They're probably meeting early afternoon or whatever.
The one part that I can't quite like relate to, and I don't think any of us normal people can relate to, is the anxiety, the buildup of you going out to fight. You know, like you're a caged animal and you just want that release, and now you don't get that release. Can you even describe what that feeling is like?
So the biggest thing is like, obviously everyone wants to win. No one wants to lose a fight, right? But I can't, like, if you haven't done that, I can't, like, it's very hard to understand like the relief you feel just having it be over.
Yeah.
Right. It doesn't, like, obviously you want to win. It sucks when you lose, but even when you lose, there's such relief that's there because you're not, like, literally for the last like 3 months, and honestly the last like 2 years, you know, just not knowing if I'm going to fight again. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not, just not knowing what's going to go on. But then like 3 months ago, it becomes real. Okay, we're fighting, we're doing this, let's go. And then now it's like, okay, we have like this buildup. It's like this slow, like build up. You know, we make weight, he makes weight, the fights, it's looking good. Everything's looking great. We have like, we worked out on Friday after the weigh-ins. We worked out Saturday morning. You know, the day of the fight, you know, took a nap, had our coaches meeting, did everything. Like, we're just, and all I keep telling myself is 8 o'clock tonight, it's all over. 8 o'clock tonight, it's all over. You know, just because, like, win or lose, obviously I want to win. I've done everything I can to win. I've positioned myself as perfectly as I possibly can to win on this date, on this night. And now it just doesn't even happen. There's no resolution. It's like you're watching like the best movie you've ever seen in your entire life. You get to the last 10 minutes and the theater loses power. So it's just like, it's just over. Like, you don't know. How's it end? Don't know. How are you going to find out? Can you figure out? Can you talk to a friend? Nope. You don't know. That was it. It's over. It's just like, it sucks. Is
your goal to fight like next week, or now do you need a mental break?
I don't even know what I want to do. Right. So that's the hard part. Like, you know, it's, there's a show at the Apex in 2 weeks. Then there's a show.
But you don't want to fight at the Apex, right?
I don't, but at this point I want to fucking fight.
Yeah.
Like, I've done all this work. You know what I mean? Like,
you don't want to go to Singapore, right?
I'm not going to Singapore.
Right.
You know, but like, there's a show in 2 weeks at the Apex, and then there's a show in 6 weeks in Austin, Texas.
Right.
I know I talked to Cowboy though, because again, it's weird too, because like, we're not like I'm texting with Cowboy. Like, I text him yesterday, how you doing? He said he's doing better. You know, it's whatever. You know, so I just asked him, like, I don't have to talk to Sean Shelby.
Right.
And see, oh, what did Cowboy say? What do we think about this? Like, I'm just going to text Donald. I'm going to go right to him. Hey, what are you thinking? What's, you know, they're talking about rebooking us, you know, in Austin in 6 weeks. You know, is that something you want to do? Something you don't want to do? And he's like, oh, I'm doing a movie from, I think it's like, he's got to be in Thailand from like May 27th to like the day after that, like June 20th or something like that. So it's like, so that, he's going to check and see how that works. You know, maybe he could train in Thailand for that and train out there. But that sucks too, because now you're doing a movie and you're trying to train on the side. And just, how does that? It's just, that's not ideal either. And it's 6 more weeks of conditioning, 6 more weeks of everything, which sucks. 2 weeks, I mean, that would be nice, but how is that going to be? If I had food poisoning, I would not want to fight in 2 weeks.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure he feels much better right now, but you know, and then how is he going to be? Like, I'm sure he's not being super strict on his diet right now. If he had food poisoning, he's trying to do whatever he can to get everything back in. Are you ready to try and kill yourself to make 55 again in 2 more weeks? Like, I had an easy cut. I'm not looking forward to making 55 in 2 weeks. I'm also not looking forward to fighting him at a heavier weight because he's so big.
I feel like his days of 55 are over.
I thought he was going to have a hard time making 55, and he was there. And I've talked to some people, you know, I talked to, you know, some of his guys that were with him, and they said that his cut actually was not that bad. You know, he looked rough, but it actually wasn't that bad. So I don't know, you know, like, is this going to happen again? You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure he ate something that it didn't agree with his stomach, right? That's why he's throwing up. I totally get that. I did not have a bad weight cut, but my stomach still didn't feel great on Saturday morning. Like, it doesn't, like, I wasn't sick. I definitely wasn't sick like he was, but like, you know, you don't put food in your body for a while, and then you try to put in a lot of food slowly, but you try to put it, but something just doesn't agree with it a little bit. It's just going to kind of mess it up. And then it's harder to put more food in there. It's hard. So it's like, is he ready to go and do that in 2 more weeks? Is this going to happen again? Like, I don't know. I don't think anyone knows. It's so up in the air. It's so hard to kind of plan for and account for, and it just sucks.
By the way, speaking of cutting weight and all that, I saw your video blog, and I love the fact that you still do these after all these years, same format and everything from like the old, you know, Palm Spike TV days. Do you have any insight on this weight scale controversy? Did you see any of this? I'm talking about the Charles Oliveira stuff. Did you hear? Because some coaches were hitting me up and saying like someone did mess up with it, but I know only two people miss weight.
So again, I control everything I can.
Yeah.
Right. I have a good scale right now. So I have like $130 scale, right? It's not the most expensive scale. It's a portable one. We take it with us to every single thing. Doesn't have to be calibrated, it's whatever, but it's a nice scale. It's not like a $30, bathroom scale I got at Walmart, right? It's like a $130 scale. We take that in every single fight trip. You'll see in every single video, go back and watch the video blogs. I check my weight on their scale and then I put my scale beside it and I check. So my scale is pretty much always like a half pound lighter than their scale when we check early in the week. And then it's pretty much always dead on at the end of the week.
Huh.
Right. So I think what happens is I think that they calibrated just like a little bit on the heavier side at the beginning of the week when they check everyone in. And then it's calibrated more dead on for fight day and everything else. So I have no idea. I heard that Charles Oliveira's camp was the one that was kind of messing with, I heard like the kilos and pounds thing, and they were messing with the scale. Or they were trying to change it when they were checking, or that they were the ones that were messing with it. I have no idea. I heard the rumor. I talked to when we were waiting for the ceremonial weigh-ins. I was in the room and we'd all weighed in already in the morning and waiting around. And a lot of the fighters were all saying that there was a big difference in the scale from like 4 or 5 a.m. when they woke, because everyone's on different time zones a little bit, right? A lot of people were up early, so they checked in their weight at like 5 a.m. and then they were good. And then when they came back to check at 8, they were off. They didn't drink anything, but they were much heavier, pound and a half heavier. So the UFC had calibrated something or, between. So I think I saw you tweeted about my thing. Like, so I was 155.2 when I checked in, and then I was 155.5 when I officially weighed in.
Yeah.
Right. I saw you put like, oh, how is this different? Well, I was different because I weighed in with my shorts on. So when I did like the unofficial early check-in, I was in just my boxers. I was 155.2. Right. And I even went to the point of like, I was 155.2. I weighed myself like holding a water bottle to see how much I could get, like how much water I could drink to still be under 156, just in case. Like I didn't need to, but just in case, like if I got really, really thirsty, I can drink this much water and I know that I'm safe. So I did that. I ended up not even drinking any water because I was okay. But then I knew I was light. So then when we go up to the scale, I left my shorts on.
Got it. Okay.
But that was why I was different. I went from 55.2 to 55.5.
Okay. And I'm not buying into the conspiracy stuff. Like, you got to figure it out. My question to you is just curious, your weight class, you've been in this game so freaking long. How do you feel about him getting stripped for 0.5?
I think it sucks, but I mean, what do you do? How do you go and make an exception for that? Right. It's like, that you're supposed to make 55 on the nose. Like, I don't know when they check their weight. They could have checked their weight at 5 a.m. and then just not worried about it. Right. But like, I think you have to be ready. You have to be ready to make an adjustment. Like if I was half pound over, I would have made the extra weight. Like, and I was not super dehydrated, like maybe this is a cautionary tale to don't be so freaking big. Don't have such hard weight cuts. This is the reality of it. You want to be as big as you can, but he's too big. Like if you're, you need to be ready for that. So like I started talking about the scale. I have my good scale. I know what my scale is going to be. I have my scale with me the entire week. I check it. I check my weight 4 or 5 times a day. I'm checking my weight nonstop. I check my weight 5 times from when I woke up until I actually stepped on the scale. You know what I mean? Like I knew exactly where I was.
Yeah.
4 a.m. I woke up. I checked my weight. I peed. I checked my weight. I pooped. I checked my weight. I peed again. I checked my weight. You know what I mean? Like I check my weight all the time. I went down and, checked on their scale. I checked my weight. Like, it's just like, that's what you do. Like, they were posting, I think like on Thursday night saying they were on weight.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I'm like, that's what I try to do. I try to get like, so I went to bed at like 50, I think I went to bed at 56.6 on Thursday night. Right. And, like I was confident I was going to sleep it off, but when I woke up at 4 a.m., I checked my weight. I knew where I was. I knew I was good. I wasn't worried about it. Like I don't just like, you don't check your weight like, oh, I'm good. And then never check it again.
Right. No,
check
of course.
Nonstop.
But
so it's like,
you've been there where the dudes are like, oh, you're good. Boom. Like there's some quick guys on the scale. Right. And the dude in Arizona, again, he's doing his job, but he was a freaking stickler. Right. You know how this.
So this is how I think. So again, I've been around, I'm very familiar with how the scales work and everything like that. If I know a guy has to be 155 and it's a title fight, then I set the thing right at 155. Mm-hmm. He's good or he's not.
Right.
He's 155 on the nose and he's heavier, then he's not good. If he's 155 in the nose and it's saying he's lighter, then he's good. It doesn't matter. You could say whatever, I think what happens is a lot of times, but now for me, I fight at 155, I could be 156.
Right.
So that guy should have put the scale at 156.
Mm-hmm.
And then he knows, okay, I'm good or I'm not good.
Yeah.
So, but what happens is they put it at 155 on the nose. And then he starts tapping it a little bit. He puts it up to like 56. He's like, oh, he brings it back. Yeah. It's just guys that they don't do it all the time. They don't know. So that's kind of but that's how it should be done. Okay, if I'm fighting at 55 and I have the pound allowance, he should start with the scale at 56.
Right.
If I'm heavier, I'm not good. If I'm lighter, what's it matter? It doesn't matter if I'm 55.2, 55.4, 55 on the nose. Like I'm good or I'm not. And I think that's more like the commission runs it. I think they just don't deal with it as often as we do. They don't understand like as often as we do. It's not as important most of the time. But I think that's how it should be done.
Yeah, I think Ratner does that. I think Ratner knows who's walking up. He puts it on that spot and then he moves along. I've just seen so many. It's hard for 2 pounds over, 3 pounds over. I get it, but man, 0.5. There's human error involved. We've seen a ton of times where guys are up there and it's like, boom, all right, you're good.
The rules we play by. You know what I mean? Like if I was, if Cowboy was 56.2,
yeah,
I'd be like, go to the sauna.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like give me that. You know what I mean? Like I think they fine guys 30%. I don't know what Cowboy gets, but I'm sure his show money's over 200 grand. That half a pound is, $60,000.
Sure. Why don't they use the digital scale then? Wouldn't that make it so much easier?
I think the digital scale is hard to calibrate. I think like the triple balance scale is easier for them to calibrate like that. I think it's you can't really calibrate digital scale. If it gets banged, it gets bumped. It's if it's not perfectly level, it's hard. I think the balance scale is easier to calibrate.
Right. So for you, you sit back and now you're just going to wait. You don't know if you're going to come back in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You don't know if it's going to be Cerrone. You don't even really know what you're going to get paid. You got a lot of questions right now.
A lot of questions. I'll wait till tonight. Like I'll probably give it another 4 hours or so. And then I'll text Sean Shelby trying to find out what's going on. I'm hoping that they come back and give me the show and the win money. I'm confident they'll give me at least the show money. I think I get the Venom money regardless because I did everything as far as that part goes. Like I wore it all week and all that kind of stuff. So, but I don't know. And I'm definitely if they're willing to do it in Austin, if they're gonna do it in 2 weeks, I'm definitely in. Even in 6 weeks, I'm sure I'll be in. It would be hard for me to say no. If they come back, I hear they're coming to Boston this fall, August, September, something like that. That would be nice to fight on that card, but that would also be a huge kick in the nuts. If they're you did this entire 3-month camp, you focus on Cowboy, and now we're gonna do it another 4 months or something like that. Yeah. That would be pretty crappy. At that point, I'd have to really think about it. I would love to fight in Boston, but at the same time, I'd have to really think about it a little bit more. But I don't know.
And you are going to fight again, right? You're not done.
I think so. I mean, I don't even know now.
You can't retire like this.
I literally had 2.5 years where I didn't fight because I was worried the fight was going to get canceled last minute. And then my biggest fear came true. You know what I mean? That's the entire thing. It's I think I have so much anxiety going forward now.
Yeah. So there's a chance you might not fight again.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Wow.
No idea. How shitty is it to have it go out like that though?
No, you know what I mean? You won't let it. Was there a chance that you win on Saturday? You were done?
There was a chance if I went out there and Cowboy kicked me in the face and I'm not going to put my wife to that again.
Yeah.
That's the big thing. I told my wife, I will not if there might be maybe one more where I get beat up, but if that happens, that will be the end. You know what I mean? That's just because I get it. I mean, my gym's doing great. I'm doing great at my gym. I love my gym. I love training. I love teaching classes. Some people are oh, it's not for them. I love teaching classes. I teach the 6 to 9-year-old kids.
Yeah.
I teach adult classes. I really love that part of it all. I like running the business. I love playing video games, right? I'm I should treat my business like it's a video game and I should try to make as much money as I can and make it as successful as possible. Oh no, I'm going to go play Minecraft instead or something stupid. It's no, of course I'm going to focus on the gym. So, but I've kind of neglected the last couple months. So that's the other thing. It's okay. Well now the gym is kind of the long-term thing that's going to drive my life, my career. Am I going to go and neglect that for another 3 months, 4 months? It's I'm going to miss 7-8 months over there. You know what I mean? It's I need to I'm going to need to prioritize that a little bit. So I don't know. I know a lot of questions.
Well,
Too many questions. That's why it would have been nice if the fight, regardless of how the fight went, win or lose, I would have way more information on what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't know now.
I hope you get those answers soon. Appreciate the chat,
Hopefully.
Joe. Really
No
sorry
problem.
this went down this way, but I hope it all works out for you, and hopefully this isn't the end. But could understand why you would want to call it.
It will be fine. No matter what happens, I will handle it. We'll make the best of the situation. Like, we will be totally fine.
Yeah.
It just sucks kind of being like kind of stuck in like in between of like not really knowing what's going on.
Much respect. Thanks, Joe. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, there he is, Joe Lauzon. Real bummer of a situation.